Hey, everybody. Welcome to You Should Know This, the favorite trivia show of myself and Ron Placone. I'm going to bring Ron Placone on the show. He is the host of Get Your News On with Ron on YouTube and has a new pilot out called Loner and a bunch of tour dates if you go to ronplacone.com. And Ron, welcome to the show.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. So this is You Should Know This, everybody. This is a show where Ron knows a lot of knowledge about like indie bands or music in general. And I don't know much about music at all, except for a handful of bands I used to listen to. And I know a lot about movies. I'm actually a published author on the subject, and Ron does not know anything about it.
Well, I read that book, so I learned a couple things.
There you go.
I did read that book.
There you go. So welcome to an exciting episode of You Should Know This. We are currently live streaming it. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, everybody. Also check out my new comedy special, Manifest It, which is on All Things Comedy's YouTube channel. That's Al Madrigal and Bill Burr's company. So if you just type in Graham Elwood Manifest It onto YouTube, you'll find it. And and I've got tour dates as well. Go to grahamelwood.com, and end of April, I'm in Maui, the Big Island, in Oahu. And in May, I'm in Phoenix and Tucson, and more tour dates will be added at grahamelwood.com. So Ron, what should I know? Let me turn off the chat so I don't see what people say.
All right.
Ron, what should I know?
So I got to be careful because they say the title, and you for sure know this song. But here
it's
it
usually
goes.
The Kiss of Death. That usually means I don't know.
No, this is an easy one. This is an easy one, but it is timely and appropriate. Remembering you standing quiet in the rain as I ran to your heart to be near, and we kissed as the sky fell in, holding you close, how I always held close in your fear. Remembering you running soft through the night, you were bigger and brighter and wider than snow. You screamed at the make-believe, screamed at the sky, and you finally found all your courage to let it all go.
The Cure?
Yes. Yeah. Good job.
This is
I've been looking so long at these. That's the title of the song.
I've been looking so long at this thing that we've all know.
You're really close. Yeah. This song's been in like a bunch of commercials. It's one of their bigger hits. It's not quite just like heaven level big, but it's close.
Here's why I knew it was The Cure. Because I loved Just Like Heaven. When I was a freshman in college, I would listen to that song over and over and over. I was kind of obsessed about this girl. I really liked this girl.
Yeah, I think we all had that. Yeah.
That's what's
that's song, everybody's story.
Yeah. With Just Like Heaven. And so I would play it every morning, and the guys in the dorm were like, "Oh, here comes doom doom doom," like they all know. And so
that was your intro music.
That was my intro music.
You like entered.
And so I listened to the rest of the album like maybe once, but I literally would only listen to that song over and over.
Yeah.
So when you started doing the lyrics, I was like, this sounds like Cure lyrics.
But you've heard this song because here's the deal. This song is not on the same album. It's Just Like Heaven. Yeah, this song is on a different album. This song is on Disintegration, which came after Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, which is the album Just Like Heaven is on. Which is, by the way, a fantastic album cover to cover. And you should have listened to the whole thing many times, but that's okay.
I literally am just like, it's like somebody saying, I just watched that one scene of the Godfather.
Right. Like, oh yeah, I watched The Godfather, but I would just like fast forward it to the leave the gun, take the cannoli part and watch that over and over again. I don't even know how it ends. I don't even know. I just watched that scene over and over. It's the best. I mean, every time he says it, it kills me. I wonder, is he going to say something else? Nope. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Then I have a snack.
Then I'm just like, I'm assuming the rest of the movie's probably pretty good, but that scene's amazing. That's my favorite scene.
It's like one of the cool, that album, because it opens, the album's called Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. It opens with a track called The Kiss, and it's one of like the coolest. It's like one of the coolest album openings, like one of my favorite title tracks like out there, because it's just like Like it's like this. Robert Smith's not much of a shredder, like on guitar, but so when he does, he really freaking does. And it's like, whoa. And on that song, he just freaking goes nuts. And there's this like huge guitar interlude, and it's epic. And they hardly ever do it live. So when they do, it's like super epic. And anyway, it's you should listen to that whole album. I would even argue that Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is better than Disintegration. Depending on the Cure fan, I mean that there could be bloodshed over such a debate, but I think they're both excellent. But I actually think that Kiss Me is even a little bit better than Disintegration. But this song is on Disintegration.
It's on Disintegration. So
yes.
I never would have known that, the name of a Cure's second album or whatever.
It wasn't. Yeah, no, they've had. It
forget
was
it,
not,
Graham.
It's okay. Yeah, no, it's their first. This Disintegration came out in '89. Their first album came out in '76. So it was not. It was way more than. It may have been like the second album you would have heard of, but it was not their second album.
Oh God.
That's actually a point of, because it's like some of these, there are some non-commercial radio stations in the world. I don't want to name names, but it's like they kind of have a bit of a pretentious attitude about them, and they make it out like they discover these bands, and they're like, here's a new band we discovered. And then some people, myself being among them, go, oh, you discovered these guys. They're playing a song from their 5th album, but you discovered them. That's a neat little story. They've toured around the world. I've seen them 3 times. Played a song from their 5th album. You found them, though? Good job.
Oh, God. I'm so glad I said their second album. I'm so glad they've been making albums since 1976. That's so awesome.
You should text Dave Anthony and be like, hey, man, do you have the Cure second album, Disintegration? I want to check it out. Just see what he says. I'd be curious.
Watch his head explode. All right. So the name of the song, I don't know.
It's Pictures of You. Because they say that. I've been looking so long at these pictures of you.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I almost believe that they're real.
Oh, yeah. These pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. I have heard that song.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was in an 80s rom-com.
It had to have been. I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, it was, it's in a like camera commercial, I think. Yeah, it's because it's pictures of you. Like it's in some like camera commercial or something like that now, but it's been in all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Oh, and somebody did actually, Nadia, you're right. 3 Imaginary Boys, which was then re-released as Boys Don't Cry, was 1979, not 76. But they did form before 1978 because they went through a bunch of names, and they started when they were in high school. So I guess like depending on, yeah, I would say they formed before 1978, but I hear you. Well, it's important. You got to get the timelines right. It's, you got to make sure.
Oh.
Because they were the easy Cure, and then they just like I think they got management, and management was like, what's with that name? So they were like, we're the Cure. And that was like kind of what happened. But yeah, it was 1979, not 76. I misspoke.
Fantastic. All right, Ron.
Good job, Graham. You nailed it.
I got the Cure out of the gate.
I knew it was, but I picked the Cure today because they just announced their North American tour.
Oh.
So yeah. I'm in the register for Hollywood Bowl tickets.
What? They're gonna play the Bowl?
Oh, they usually play the Bowl, man. I saw them at the Bowl. I think it was 2016. I saw them at the Bowl.
Oh, I want to go to that show.
Dude, yeah, get in the register, man. I saw them at the Bowl, and I saw them in Pasadena. They did a festival in Pasadena a couple years ago. I think that was like 2019. So yeah, I've seen them a couple times here, and they always bring it really good in LA, which is badass. I mean, I've seen them probably like 4 or 5 times over the years, and Every time they're in LA, they really like they just don't hold anything back. It's like pretty badass. And the at the festival I saw them at, it was really cool because the Pixies were also at the festival and they played right before The Cure. So like, you know, Pixies did a set and of course it was great. It's the Pixies. And then so The Cure's doing a set and like Robert Smith's just up there strumming on an acoustic guitar and he starts freaking playing Where Is My Mind? Like Robert Smith starts playing Where Is My Mind? And he's singing it and everyone's like freaking cheering, you know. And then he goes into Friday I'm in Love. And it was like, it was so badass. I mean, it was just like freaking music royalty. Like he did a nod to Frank and the Pixies and then goes into Friday I'm in Love. And it was like, dude, just.
All right, that's it. I saw The Cure in 1989 or 90.
It's a good time to see him.
At Dodger Stadium.
Mm-hmm. So so you were probably at the tour of the album you never learned the name of, but if it was 89, it was probably the Disintegration tour. If it was 90, it still potentially could have been the Disintegration tour. And you were there. You were just like, I'm so happy for these guys. They put out their second album. Can you believe it? They started this band 18 months ago, and here they are.
They're selling out a stadium. It's
amazing. You think they wrote just like Heaven at their first practice? What do you know about these guys?
Do you think they wrote just like Heaven at their first practice? I'm saying all these things as like a 19-year-old Graham Elwood at a Dodger Stadium, just like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I prefer watching baseball, but this is cool that these guys are playing.
Like, good for these guys. You think they get paid to do this?
I wonder if they get to go in the dugout. Do they get to go in the dugout? That's pretty awesome. They get to.
They throw the first pitch.
Oh my God. That is so fucking hilarious. Ron, that's so hilarious. That was the name of the tour of the album. I don't know.
Probably, yeah, it probably was. I mean, yeah.
All right. I know you're running out of time, but I have a movie line. All right. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
High Fidelity.
Oh, no. But this was the.
Say anything.
Okay. Now you're in the right time frame. Say anything.
Breakfast Club.
Boom. You got it. There you go.
I knew it was one of those because I'm like, wait, I know that line. And I'm like, so that's either like, I know like there's a bunch of Manilow references in High Fidelity. So I'm like, am I just thinking John Cusack because of that? And then I'm like, if it's not John Cusack, it's Breakfast Club. So boom.
That's congratulations. And do you know who directed that movie?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, as soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, of course. But yeah,
that was the John Hughes era when he was making all of these movies. Mainly the thing about the John Hughes movies that's significant to me is they were all shot and took place in the North Shore of Chicago where I was living at the time. So like I had some friends that were in some movies, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And this movie was so quoted.
Yeah, it's such a fun movie, man. And so was that like his first movie? Did he fund it himself?
It was John Hughes' first movie, and he put
like
it on
his first
credit
movie,
card. Right? Yeah, it was his film school debut.
I was gonna say like it was his final project, right? And people liked it. Like they were all actually students there.
Yeah. Yes, Molly Ringwald was a student at his school. That's
what
why.
I thought.
Yeah.
No, that's such a fun movie. That is such a freaking fun movie. I'm trying to. I can't. It was the bully character who said that, right? Did he raid your thing?
Yeah,
Which
the guy
one was it?
It was his name was John Bender.
Yeah.
And then he was making fun of Richard Vernon, who is like in a lot of 80s movies as the dick.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You mess with the bull, don't mess with the bull, young man. You get the horns."
Yes, that's right. Oh, that character's so ridiculous. Yeah. Like, and yeah, he's like the dick, and he's so funny at it. That's
Yeah,
such a great movie.
Emilio Estevez is in it. A lot of young actors, Molly Ringwald,
Yeah, and I like
Ally
Emilio
Sheedy.
Estevez as an actor, but I feel like for my like my age, it's weird seeing Emilio Estevez in that role because we were a little too young to be hip to Breakfast Club when it came out. I mean, we were alive, but we were like too
Right.
young to be watching a movie like that. So we came up with Emilio Estevez as Coach Gordon Bombay. So it was like kind of weird for us to like see Emilio Estevez as like the tough guy. Like that was like weird for like my elder millennial generation to digest. For like Coach Bombay's the tough guy in this. Like
He's got another great line I would have read if you would have was what 2 hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
yes,
That's
yes. Yeah, be 2 hits, pal. Me hit you, you hit the floor. And then what does he say? Doesn't he take out his pocket knife? The other guy, the like the deviant guy or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. He pulls
He's
out a
like,
knife.
yeah. He put like
And
you do, like like you just pull out a knife.
and we learn about the whole this is why Breakfast Club was significant, because we learned everyone started out as this, but then you learn the John Bender character's dad put cigarettes out in his arm. And
Yeah,
then Emilio Estevez's dad is like writing him to be an all-state athlete to get a scholarship, like,
yeah.
and all these kids are put under all this different kind of pressure. Ali Sheedy's character is the weirdo, but it's because she's got parents that are like, don't care about her.
They
She's
neglect her.
yeah.
Yeah. So she gets to make Captain Crunch sandwiches. I mean, at first you're like, that's cool. You make Captain Crunch sandwiches. Then you're like, oh, it's because no one gives a fuck about you.
Right.
It's
Nobody's
like,
yeah. And
yeah, it's a good movie. It's just a good movie. They're still getting around it. That's a great movie.
yeah.
That would be like a comfort food movie. I remember like I would a lot of times in my dorm freshman year, like they would have a bunch of like classic movies on like DVD that you could just like rent for free or whatever. And it was like one of those things. Breakfast Club was one of them. And I would always sometimes I would just like spin Breakfast Club like at like 2 in the morning or something if I just wanted to like zone out on something. But
yeah. It was that, and like 16 Candle. I mean, that was all John Hughes's era of really making a bunch of amazing movies at the time. I mean, they're very sort of white suburban centric for sure. I mean, they're
yeah,
very
see,
but
that's a movie quote you haven't done yet. You haven't gone like Emilio Estevez's next chapter as Coach Gordon Bombay. One of these, you're just going to be like, quack, quack. And I'm going to be like, I know that one. Ducks fly together.
I would do something probably like from Repo Man, some movie you've never seen or heard of.
I've
That
never
I
seen,
would,
yeah, that
yeah.
I don't know.
It's the indie label vinyl album that nobody's watched other than nerds like me. That's what it is.
It's the 3 Imaginary Boys of Emilio Estevez movies. So
Don't know what that is, but I'm sure it relates.
that's the Cure's technically the Cure's first album. So it was called 3 Imaginary Boys, and I think in the UK, and then when they reissued it in the US, they called it Boys Don't Cry because Boys Don't Cry was the lead single off of that album. So they just called the album Boys Don't Cry in the US, but the album's actually called 3 Imaginary Boys, which is also a song on that album. So it's a little confusing, but yes.
Right on.
This is like what my short-term store is instead of important shit. Like I'll forget passwords and stuff, and I'll be like, oh, but I know this random fact about like an argument John and Paul had, and that's why these lyrics are the way they are. You know what I mean? Like it's like that would be the way like if I ever like, I mean, heaven forbid ever have like some bad accident or something, and they're like, does he still have his memory? Does he still have like a good test for me would be like, hey, and Let It Be, he's singing to the Virgin Mary, right? And if I'm like, no, he's singing about his mom. He's talking about his mom when his mom would tell him to stop fighting with John Lennon. If I answer that, I'm okay. But if I say, yeah, I'm pretty sure, then something's up. Like, oh man, something's wrong with Ron. He's got amnesia or something.
Wow, I didn't know that. So what lyric was because John and Paul were fighting?
When they say Mother Mary, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom. He's not talking about like Mary, like the Holy Trinity. He's talking about his mom. Because whenever he would fight with John Lennon, like, because that was when they were having really hard times, his mom would always be like, just let it be. Like, she would say that to him. Like, she'd be like, let it be, Paul. So, like, that, like, he's pretty much quoting her in that song. So he's singing about his mom.
Oh,
yeah.
Never knew that all these years. That's a beautiful story.
You know what? As a Beatles fan and a non-believer, that's a fun fact for me, like,
Wow. What a great, we learned a lot. Well, Ron, thank you so much. I know it's 3:00. You got to get rolling. But thank you for walking us through the Cure's second album today.
You got it, buddy. I'm so stoked for John Hughes' first movie, Breakfast Club. I would have given him an A+ on that project.
It's great student film. It's great student film.
He nailed
it. Yes, John Hughes nailed it with Breakfast Club. So, all right, buddy. Good to see you, and we'll talk soon.
All right, man. Peace.
Later. Ron Placone, everybody. Go to ronplacone.com. God, I love doing that.